There's a 6-foot wall. I want to see how fast I climb it. A piece of cake.
There's not a single person in the world that doesn't want to become something greater than who they are right at this moment in time, whether it's to get that job promotion or that big pay bump, or to catch the attention of someone important in their lives. And even after everything is said and done, there are some individuals that do shine brighter than others. They continue showing up, defying the odds every day of their lives, simply because they never quit. Even in the face of defeat, they just keep coming back for more. And for one, I'm curious, why? Why, or better yet, how the fuck do they do it? I'm ready to take the next step in today's journey. Today's mission, muscle.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm the first one on your channel, correct?
You're the first one.
I don't know how you found me, but I appreciate it. I was shocked when I saw your email. I said, whoa, what's this? You did a hell of a job with the way you hooked up the video. I like that. That was good. It caught my attention. I said, wow, this guy went far. That's why I'm doing this with you, because that was like, you were serious, I accepted it. But this is my first interview. This is my first. I mean, I'm nothing special. I'm not a scientist or nothing like that, but this is my first also. So we'll discuss everything, what I think. So if you have whatever question you have, I'll try to answer it.
Thank you so much, Tony. For me, the reason why you stood out when we initially had that phone call, you asked me, how did I find you? And a lot of times what I do is I look up preventative measures because of my past history. I've fractured my 5th vertebrae. I slipped my disc between my 4th and 5th vertebrae. I've had surgical repairs on my labrum because I tore this. And then I've had sciatica down my left leg for 4.5 years. And actually in college, I'd walk around with a back brace. And I always thought that I was going to be predestined to just be stuck in this back brace and be immobile. So I've always went down the rabbit hole of looking up at rehabilitation and preventative measures. And I stumbled upon you. The same things that people tell you now is what people told me in the past. There is a point to where your body will stop and you will not be able to do this. People say it's all downhill after you turn 21. And you are an anomaly because now, how old are you?
I'm 60. I'm 60 years old.
People kind of discredit you in certain areas and say, well, it's because he might be on these supplementations. What would you say to those people?
I never touched a steroid. I never done TRT, SARMs, whatever you call them things. I never touched any of that in my life. I've been in tip-top shape my entire life. I started exercise since I was 5 years old. Not 15, since I was 5 years old. I fell in love with exercise at 5 years old. I kept myself in shape every single year my entire life. I don't need to touch any of that stuff. In addition, any of these things hurt your joints. They hurt your organs. They hurt your eyesight. I wear no glasses. I have no problems with my joints. None whatsoever. None. I jump, run. I could jump off a 10-foot wall and nothing will happen to my joints. Another thing, that you should not do those things because it destroys your joints. So stop asking me these questions. I will take a test anytime, anywhere with their doctor to prove that I am not anything. They could even take hair samples. They could do whatever they want. DNA. I've never taken any TRT, steroids, or any other performance-enhancing drug.
That's a challenge for anyone that's listening. One thing that I really liked about you in your videos that you talked about, and I didn't really focus on this much, was motor units. And I had to do a little bit of research and watch a little bit more of your videos and then do some Google. Could you talk a little bit about motor units and what those are?
Very, very good question. Motor units. I have a theory. I have my own theory in aging. I went to college, Marist College. I didn't complete the 4 years, but I did 2 years of Marist College. And I took psychology. And that's when I first came across motor units. What are these motor units? And I was into fitness then. I was into running, sprinting, baseball, football, you name it. I was into all this. I learned about fast twitch fibers. I didn't know about the motor units yet. I knew about plyometrics. You ever heard of plyometrics?
We actually did those a little bit in lacrosse.
This was like 1984. I was doing plyometrics back then. Since then, I've been doing them. And that's when I came across the motor units and I started studying it. And I seen that the motor units is what's causing all this. The motor units is what's connected to you have motor units that are connected to your slow twitch fibers, and you have motor units that are connected to your fast twitch fibers. When we are born, we have defenses. You're born with the hallmarks of aging. There's probably more that we haven't found yet, but the ones that already been found, before the age of 25, our body has a defense system against these hallmarks of aging. That's why we grow stronger, we grow healthy till about the age of 25, 30 years old. Then something happens at this age. First and foremost, you start losing the fast twitch motor units, which are connected to the fast twitch muscle fibers. The reason for this is because most people at this age don't train for explosiveness, sprints. They just don't train for this. They do this maybe when they're younger, the ones that are in the know. But everyone loses motor units. By the time we're 75, we lose about 50% of our motor units. This causes a slowdown in your muscles. This is what causes you to move slower, even to think slower. This literally is what destroys your muscles. Fast motor unit loss. So my objective, when I found out about these motor units, I said, let me do explosive workouts. This is my forte. I do explosive workouts. I jump. This is why you see me, a lot of my workouts are outside, because you cannot do this in the gym. You don't have the freedom. You cannot train your coordination. Another thing, the mistake people make is when they work out for coordination, let's say, for stability, coordination, they do the movement slow. You ever notice? Even Peter Attia, he does the movement slow. When you move slow, you train your slow twitch fibers, not your fast twitch fibers. You're already losing your fast twitch fibers. So why wouldn't you train to slow down the loss of fast twitch fibers? And this is what I do. Every movement I do, I say 50% of my workout is geared towards fast movement. It doesn't matter if it's coordination movement, stability, agility movement. I don't do them slow. You have to do them fast. That's what trains the fast twitch fibers. Because I believe, this is my opinion again, I believe fast twitch fiber loss, fast motor unit loss could be, I could be wrong, I'm going to research this further, it could be catalyst towards lowering your defense system against the hallmarks of aging. In other words, once you start losing these motor units, your defense systems weaken to fight the hallmarks of aging. Let's say I want to throw a punch. Signal, electric signal, which is called an action potential, goes from your brain to your motor neuron. The motor neuron is part of your motor unit. Okay, it goes through the dendrite. The dendrite is what sends the signal to the motor neuron. Then the signal travels down the motor neuron. Okay, I'm trying to remember this from memory now. I didn't know you were going to ask me this. It travels to the motor neuron. It travels through the motor neuron to the neuromuscular junction. I'm just giving you a quick breakdown. Then in the neuromuscular junction, acetylcholine is created, a neurotransmitter, which travels to the muscle fiber. Then, once the acetylcholine travels to the muscle fiber, I forgot a step. When it travels down the motor neuron, it goes to the axon. The axon brings it to the neuromuscular junction, the signal. Then, acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter, is created, which is connected to your muscle fibers. In the muscle fiber, another action potential is created, which is another message for the muscles to contract. This acetylcholine, once it attaches to the muscle fibers, it creates calcium ion. Calcium ion is released from the muscle cells, which it makes certain filaments, myosin and actin, I think, move back and forth. Okay, this is what creates the muscle contraction. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people are deficient in calcium. Calcium is very important for motor unit health. Because of this, if the calcium ion is not released, if there's not enough calcium in your body to release from the muscle cell, your motor units won't work as good. If that's just a step. As we age, we lose motor neurons. When we lose motor neurons, the body tries to compensate for this by creating new motor units. It's called axonal sprouting. tries to create new motor units, but the new motor units that it creates are now not fast motor units. They are slow. It's converted to slow motor units. Now, as we age even further, this process also slows down. It's called axonal sprouting. That also slows down. This is what slows us down as we age. This is the part I'm fighting. I'm fighting the slowdown of the loss of fast twitch muscle fibers because I believe that this is a major part of the aging process. And I believe that if we can slow down the loss of these fast motor units, we can live way beyond 100, not 150, I don't know. But I believe you could reach 100 years old moving like a 60, 70-year-old. That's what I'm planning on doing. By the time I reach 100, I want to move like someone at my age as the years go on. And I need to train the fast twitch fibers every single day. Part of your routine should be geared towards training every single muscle in your body. So people just do sprints or they just do clapping push-ups. No, you need to train every single muscle, move every single muscle in your body. And that's what I do. I am going to also do a video soon on a routine that trains your whole body for fast twitch fiber activation. This is what I do. Every single muscle should be activated, not just your legs and your upper body. Even the smallest muscle have fast twitch fibers. They need to be activated and stimulated also. This is what I've been training for the last 40 years. This is why I move the way I do. This is why I jump. You've seen the videos. I mean, I'm not bragging here. Just this is what I do. This is what I've been training for. This is my experiment. So far, so good. So far, it looks all right so far. We'll see what happens in 10 years. If I do this when I'm 70, when I'm 80, if I'm moving like a 40-year-old, then I know I'm right. If I'm wrong, I have nothing to lose. If I'm right, I have a lot to gain. If I'm wrong, I have nothing to lose. I'm living healthy. That's how I'm looking at it.
I love that. And also, I like your philosophy on this too, because they actually did do a study and they noticed that people they did it from nursing homes, and most people in nursing homes that actually had a stronger grip tended to last longer in the nursing home. We don't know if it's a direct or indirect relationship. It kind of almost relates a little bit to what you're talking about in your philosophy of practicing using the fast twitch muscles, using plyometrics and the exercises that you're teaching. I think there is some truth to that. I also like how you talked about functional overreaching.
A lot of longevity enthusiasts, what they've been told to do is this, right? Train 150 minutes of moderate vigorous activity and 75 minutes of vigorous activity. This is what they've been told. They also been told that once you stop breathing hard, stop. This does not make your body resilient. This weakens your body. It weakens your body. That's why you have to push just a little bit. You have to push it. That's why I do functional overreaching. I'm not overtraining. I mean, in a sense, it is overtraining, but it's not overtraining in the sense where you're damaged for months and years. No, you come back even stronger. It's like a hormesis. I mentioned this in my video. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. David Sinclair always says that. That's why when you train, you don't stop training when you start breathing a little hard. This weakens you. You have to push a little bit further. That's why I do this for 2 weeks. And then for the next 3 weeks, I still work out, but I slow down. This is what recuperates your body. And then like in the 5th, 6th week, you can feel the difference. And you can keep doing this cycle over and over. This is what I do. But like I said, I don't kill myself where I get up in the morning like, oh, I can't. No, not like that. You have to know your body. You have to know when to stop. From doing it for so many years, I know my body by now. Let me ask you something. When you compare a 25-year-old, even amateur athlete, 25-year-old athlete, to a 60-year-old athlete, a 70-year-old athlete, what do you notice? What do you notice right away? You notice the 25-year-old is more smoother in movement. Okay, he's not as stiff.
He moves with fluidity.
Why is that? You got these guys that go to the gym, and I mean no disrespect to anyone. You got people that go to the gym, they've been work out, resistance training for an hour. Some people jog, some people like swimming, some people like bike riding. My way is train everything. Everything that you lose as you age. Like Peter Attia said, you become asymmetrical. When you just do lifting weights, you become asymmetrical. Not asymmetrical meaning when you're a bodybuilder. I don't mean that kind of symmetry. What I mean by asymmetrical is you lose flexibility, agility, mobility, stability, strength, power, reflexes, and on and on. You lose all this. So why wouldn't you want to train each and every one of these? That's the only way you're going to keep your body young. The only way. By just going to the gym and doing what they tell you, 75 minutes of resistance training, and then don't breathe too hard, or even if you jog a marathon, that it doesn't help your flexibility, your reflexes. It doesn't help any of this. You need to train every single aspect of your body that you lose as you age. But nobody does this. And this is what I do. I stretch 30 to 40 minutes every single night like I brush my teeth. I mean, I wake up in the morning relaxed. This is another reason why I don't have any pains. Stretching is very important. I work out 2 hours a day. 40 minutes is stretching. So when I say I work out, when I say I exercise 2 hours a day, I don't mean I work out with weights and I kill myself. No. 40 minutes of those 2 hours is stretching. I stretch my whole body, my fingers, everything. I stretch everything. I wake up with no pain. If I don't stretch for 2 days, I can feel it. I can feel the difference immediately. It helps you recuperate faster. And that's another thing I push on people. They should stretch a lot.
I really like what you talk about because it's so aligned with what I'm doing and what I'm getting into now. And to see you do it, and for me to be preaching to other people, it's totally possible, but not having the evidence. And then finding you, I'm like, I sent you to my mom and everyone because my mom's 55 or so. And she's like, Travis, I'm just not the same age as you. And I can't do these things. And then I show someone like you and I'm like, well, what about this guy?
Mindset. That's another thing I want to mention. You need to have the mindset to want to do this. Not everybody has the same priorities. Not everybody has the same mindset. A lot of people just have other things on their mind. They want to make money or whatever it is. My mindset is this. This is why I wake up every morning. I wake up every morning to continue my goal. Everything is geared towards this goal. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until I prove this. Another thing I want to speak about is, did you mention to me about the sit up to stand up?
Yes, I did.
There's a test, a longevity test that scientists do where they do it differently than I did it. But it's considered a longevity test. It's not 100% proof. Scientists say that it's a sign that you live longer. If you could, without using your hands, you could sit on the floor and stand up without using your hands. I want to step further. I did it with the, I don't know if you saw the video. I did it with the 50-pound dumbbell. Then I received a lot of messages, some claiming, yes, the weight is helping you. It's giving you the momentum to help you up. There's no way, it is impossible to do it without the weight. This is what they said. So I am making a video, which is coming soon, where I show that I do it without the weight. Not only am I going to do that without the weight, but at the end of it, I'm also going to do something. I'm going to add a little something to it to make it even more difficult. People saying this, I'm just going to show it to them. I don't like challenges. I really don't like challenges, but I want to make this video not only to show that I can do it without the weight, but also I'm going to make a tutorial, an instructional video, how to train to do this, because this is very important. If you could do this, it's good for your fast twitch fibers also, in your stomach, in your core.
I've seen enough videos in the fitness space to know that you do have something special, because most people, when they create these channels, it's check out what I can do, not versus what I can teach you and what I can tell you and the importance of this stuff. And when you speak with passion, purpose. Seeing everybody 30 and 40 years old, they just don't focus on it as much. It looks like you have found a secret to make you happy, truly. And I think even most people don't have that in their lives. So me seeing you and how you're fulfilling this purpose in your life, it brought me joy.
You got to love what you're doing. A lot of people work out. A lot of people go to the gym, and you can see, like, sometimes you don't see, I mean, not everyone, but they force themselves to work out. They're like, I gotta go work out. I'm not gonna go today. Things like that. No. This is my joy. This is my life. This is just what I live. I live this from my heart. I live this from my heart. That's why I try not to show off. Some people say in the comment section that I do show off. I'm not trying to show off. I'm showing you what I could do at my age, and I'm showing you how it's done. I'm showing step by step on how to do it. Some people take offense to it. I don't know why. I just don't know. I don't mean no disrespect by that. I'm going to make a lot more videos concerning my training. So I'm not stopping. Those comments don't bother me at all. They just push me further. And the thing is, you have to love what you do. That's the bottom line with everything in life. If you don't love what you do, you're not going to continue it. It's not just about training. You have to, the whole lifestyle, the whole mindset, nutrition, sleep. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not bragging here, but like in the summertime, when I'm walking around with a tank top, like I go to a store or something, I'm talking about when I'm in serious rip mode, like 3-4% body fat, serious rip mode where I got veins coming out of everywhere, I have people stopping me I'm talking from young to old. And they don't even hide it. Hey, how old are you? Wie alt bist du? In German, they're like confused, they say I'm great. They get confused. I get asked so many times, what do you do? What kind of workouts do you do? What kind of training do you do? Even the young guys. I really work up by myself. I stay to the side by myself because, like I said, most guys go to the pull-up bar, they do pull-ups. I do those too, but I do different kind of workouts. I don't do the workouts other people do. I'm trying to get people to work out with me, but they won't. They won't. Seriously, they won't work out with me. Guys say, oh, okay, I'll be here, but they never show up. If I was to work out with somebody, I would show them how to do it. Slowly, step by step. I don't think there's anything special in what I do. It's just that I've been training my whole life. I kept a lot of my agility. I kept a lot of my power. Not a lot. I lost a lot of power. I was way more stronger in my powerlifting days, much more stronger. No comparison. But I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying to slow down this loss because I want to show that if I'm 70, 80, if I could move like a 40-year-old without any diseases, without any medication. A lot of older people are on medication. They just suffer from some kind of medication. And I believe all this stems from the loss of muscle mass, muscle power, muscle fibers, and motor units. I believe all this stems from that. Unless you have a hereditary medical issue, the average person is stronger when they're younger. Like I said, they have those defenses. When you get older, you lose this, and you get weak. When you get weaker, when you age, you get weaker. Your muscle mass, you lose muscle power. This is where it all begins. I believe there's a strong connection there. This is where it all begins. I believe if you keep your body youthful and strong, I believe those age-related diseases are not coming. Not coming. Plus, muscle tissue will protect you from diabetes. It sucks up glucose. I don't eat sugar anyway, so I avoid sugar like the plague. I'm a nutrition fanatic. I'm like a chemist. See, people think I just work out. I am like a chemist, like Frank Zane. He was the chemist. I don't know if you know Frank Zane is a bodybuilder. Also a chemist. People think I just work out. I'm making a video. Once I finish with you, I'm going to post a video on the oatmeal I make every morning with about 15, 16 ingredients in it. It's going to surprise them because you need to replenish your body all the way to the cellular level. And you need to use certain supplements. You need to use certain nutraceuticals. I use a lot of nutraceuticals, which is foods that could be considered medicine. Okay, I don't know if you ever heard of amla, green cardamom, black seed oil, Nigella sativa, ginger. Nutrition is very important. Like Jack LaLanne said, exercise is king, nutrition is queen. Exercise is 100% king. Exercise is everything. We were born to move. Our body is designed for movement. Nutrition helps the movement. We are born to move. That's why you need to keep the movement optimized. Nutrition supports exercise. Sleep supports exercise. Not exercise doesn't support nutrition. Exercise doesn't support sleep. It's the other way around. Exercise is number one. Everything else is its babies, man. That's how I live. That's my motto. You need to eat right. You need to eat right. Very important. By the way, I eat a very, very high protein diet. My protein diet is about between 45-50% of my calories. Very, very high protein.
I just had to say, because Tony was saying that he is not as strong as he was, but don't let him fool you. This guy is strong.
In competition, when I was, what age was I? I was about 25. In powerlifting competition, no steroids, none of that. It was in the 75 kilo division. I did 580 deadlift, 530 squat, and my bench was really weak, 325. That was my weakness, my bench. I didn't have a good bench. But those are my max lifts in competition. But I wasn't a power lifter. That's not why I entered powerlifting. I entered powerlifting to enhance my athletic abilities. I ran a pretty fast 40 too in my prime. I ran a very fast 40-yard dash.
Seeing how fast you got up those stairs, like Rocky Balboa, I can definitely believe that.
Yeah, I was pretty fast in my prime. In my prime, I was pretty fast. But like I said, I want to go back to the protein. People say protein activates mTOR, and mTOR is going to kill you, reduce lifespan. Protein, this is my opinion, I made a video on this. Protein to me is the longevity. Protein, a high protein diet is the ultimate longevity diet, in my opinion. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone's the same. Some people can't eat protein because of kidney issues or for whatever reason. But for the average healthy person, high protein diet is the ultimate longevity diet. All my life, since I was a teen, 30% of my calories were protein. I got this, I don't know if it was Frank Zane, it might have been another bodybuilder, but he was using a 60-30-10. 60 carbs, 30 protein, 10 fat. Those were the macros. Because I work out a lot, I could eat carbs. Carbs don't bother me. I don't have any problems with diabetes. I don't have any problems with sugar, so carbs don't bother me. I don't eat bad carbs. I eat the complex carbohydrates, like sweet potatoes, things like that. I don't eat simple carbs, slow releasing carbs, low glycemic. That's the kind of carbs I eat. So it doesn't affect me at all. As a matter of fact, it helps me. Now let me get back to the high protein. Then around the last 2-3 years, I increased my protein intake to 50% of my total calories. Because as we age, it's called anabolic resistance. I don't know if you know what that is. The muscle protein synthesis, the process slows down, it diminishes as you age. So you need more protein, especially leucine, the amino acid leucine, to build muscle. When you're older, you need more protein. You have to ingest more protein to build muscle because of this anabolic resistance. For these people that fast and they eat low protein diet like Longo, I don't know if you know what Longo is. He preaches that you should eat a low protein diet because it increases lifespan. I disagree with him. Low protein diet doesn't in no shape or form increases lifespan. None whatsoever. In other words, he's telling people to get sarcopenia faster. It's not muscle quantity, it's muscle quality that matters when you age. So when you go to the gym, that's where fast motor units come in. You have guys in their 60s and 70s that look fantastic. Some guys look really good, man. But how are your fast twitch fibers? How are your fast motor units? Show me how you move. And I mean no disrespect to anyone. There are some people that the fittest 60-year-old, the fittest 70-year-old. Okay, let me see you move. Let me see you get on a football field with 25-year-olds, and let me see you move as smoothly as them. And I will show you your real age. Bottom line, that's what I'm fighting. If I was to put a football helmet on, and I get in a football field with 25, 30-year-olds, you will not be able to tell when I'm running. You will not be able to tell there's a 60-year-old on the field. That's what I train for. I'm moving like one of them. That's the mistake 99.9% of all the people make. They don't train this. You can tell their age when they move. You can do all the pull-ups, all the tricks on the pull-up bar. Some of them do tricks on the pull-up bar. They do all this fancy stuff. Let me see you move. Let me see you jump. Let me see that agility. Let me see the mobility. Let me see you spinning. This is why I work out outside. You could train your mobility and coordination much better than in the gym. Fresh air. I still work out in the gym sometimes, but that's just a little bit. I love the outside for that reason. It's more freedom, more natural movement. My message is, all you older guys, train your mobility, agility. Keep your agility youthful, because that's going to be your demise. Another thing about motor units I want to speak about. You could eat perfectly. Mediterranean, keto, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore. You could do all that. You could take all the supplements, all the NAD supplements. You could take whatever you want to take. When you reach the age of 75, those things don't stop the loss of motor units. The only thing in existence that can slow down the loss of motor units is high power, high intensity training. Some are saying stem cell therapy. Nonsense. Stem cell therapy is not slowing down the loss of motor units, because if that was so, they would have a cure for ALS. They would have a cure for so many diseases. It's not even funny. You'd be a multi-billionaire if you could slow down the loss of motor units with medication. Can't be done. There's only one thing that slows down the loss of motor units, and that's the exercises I do, high intensity, plyometrics. That is the only way you can slow down the loss of motor units. Therefore, by the time you reach 75, even if you lived a perfect, healthy lifestyle, you still lost 50%, close to 50% of your motor units. In essence, you are going to suffer from the same age-related diseases that the average person that didn't live a healthy lifestyle or perfect lifestyle because of these loss of motor units. That's why even the people that take supplements, eat perfect, that's why many of them are still taking age-related medication. Almost 100% of people that are 70 years old are on at least 2 medications, because this is my opinion. If they would have trained like I'm training right now to keep the body youthful, movement, I believe they would have avoided those diseases, especially sugar price, especially diabetic, anything to deal with sugar, insulin resistance. You will not get this. If you slow down the loss of fast motor units, you will, you will compress morbidity. In other words, you may not, maybe what I'm doing won't take me past the maximal lifespan. Maybe it won't, maybe it will. We're going to find out. I don't know. But one thing I do know it will do is compress morbidity. In other words, instead of you getting sick when you're 60, 65, 70, 75, you might not get a disease until you're 100 or 95. It compresses it. You understand? It helps your health span. What I do benefits your health span 100%. 100%. And I am going to keep doing it. This is my life. And I have something to prove. I have something to prove to myself and to a lot of people that claim that what I'm doing is fake. My ideal, my goal to live that long, taking steroids, taking TRT, taking any of that stuff, will negate what I'm working on. It will negate it. So I would never in a million years touch any of that. I don't have a problem with my testosterone. I don't have any medical issues. And I believe it's because of the lifestyle, because of the workout I do. I mean, I do everything. I run long distance. I do sprints. I do hits. I do everything. I do flexibility, mobile. You have to do every single thing. I mentioned it earlier. Everything must be done. That's how you maintain a youthful body, and that's how you maintain a symmetrical body. One thing is off, it's like a virus. One thing is weak, it attacks that. Age is like a virus. It's like a virus. Whatever is weak on you, it attacks. That's why different parts of your body age differently. Everybody's body is different. Some people could eat a piece of cake and their sugar level won't spike. Some people eat a little bit like that and they get like almost diabetic. People are different. High protein diet doesn't bother me, but just people are different. This works for me, and I will continue doing it.
And Tony speaks from experience. Everything that he's spoken about, even playing football on the field. He recently released a video of him playing football with a young buck, and he's like, "Hey, toss me this ball," and he just ran a post. So everything that he says, he's done it.
My timing is off a little, but if I train for a little while, I get it.
Yeah.
I was scouted for the Chicago White Sox.
No, we got to talk about your background.
Put it this way: I'm from Italy. I'm Italian. I'm not American. I'm Italian, but I speak good English. That's why people say this guy is from New York. English is my second language. I'm Italian. Soccer was my love. Soccer was my first love. Starting at 5 years old, playing, running, and I never stopped since then. At 10 years old, I went to the U.S. and I met this man. He was a baseball coach, Orlando Montiel. He died. God bless his soul. This guy, he showed me how to play baseball, right? And I dedicate a lot of this stuff to him because, man, the guy showed me how to play baseball, and I became really good at it. I was playing shortstop. That was my position, shortstop. I just never followed up on it because your mindset, it's all about mindset. People have different mindsets. You lose track of things. In life, you lose track of things. You make mistakes, Everybody makes mistakes they regret. Everybody can say they made a mistake in their life. Everybody. I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. But I have no regrets about the way I live my life. I have no regrets at all. I enjoy it. I look forward, pushing every day.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I actually just had the idea of talking about regret, and I was having a conversation with my friend, and I said, and just the way that you mentioned it, everyone has things that they wish they would have done differently, but the idea of regret is wishing that you've never done it. But even a regret later on can be at least acknowledged and maybe even appreciated because you can learn from it. So ultimately, if you can learn from it, would you truly regret that? Regret.
You have a point.
I was going to ask you, because it seems like you were gifted as a kid. You played baseball, you played soccer, you were always active. When you were 5, did you ever tell yourself, I think I'm special? Is there anything that set you aside and you said, you know what, I think I'm a little bit different from most people?
Let me give you an incident, not an incident, that happened. I was 5 years old, and I still remember this like it was yesterday. And I played soccer with all the boys. They were like 10. And I remember the boy was running down the field, and I ran and I slid. I don't know what made me do this at 5 years old. I slid like 3 or 4 yards, maybe. I don't know how far it was. And I took the ball from him, and all the kids went crazy. And ever since then, that was like, I never forgot that. I said, people love this. People love when somebody does this kind of stuff. Somebody's good at a sport. And ever since then, I had it in me to do that. Ever since then, that little thing, even though it may have looked like nothing to somebody else, but it looked special to me and to the kids that were there. And ever since then, that's like, But the guy that really pushed me is the baseball coach. First time I got up, I hit the ball. I never touched the baseball bat. And I was like just hitting the ball. And he pushed me. He pushed me hard. He's basically the one that changed my way with sports, athleticism. I mean, after that, I started doing my own research, and I noticed that speed is the number one thing in all sports. Speed. Quickness. Not speed. Quickness. Speed is different. Like a 100-meter dash is different. Quickness. Those are the most important in all sports. And I trained for that. I trained to get that first step. In any sport, you need that quickness. Boxing, that puts you at the top. Separates the men from the boys. Seriously. If you think about it, I can name you a whole bunch of people, man. Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders, Barry Bonds, when he the snap of the bat, Barry Bonds, even though he was on steroids, they say, it's just the quickness, Everything is about quickness, the fast twitch fibers. Basically, it's all about neuromuscular connection, the brain to muscle. Optimize that. That's what makes you move faster. And that's where the fast twitch fibers come in, the fast motor units come in. You have to train this. The best, I'm talking about Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, and quick. They were quick. Bruce Lee was like this, but he had power behind it. He produced a lot of force. He worked, believe me, Bruce Lee worked those fast twitch fibers. Maybe they didn't have the science like that back then, but he worked those fast twitch fibers. I'm taking that science and I'm incorporating into living longer and healthier by using the science with plyometrics, high intensity training. This is why I apply it to me. This is how I apply it. Because I'm not going to play any more sports. So my objective is right now is to keep my body youthful in all aspects, not just running, jumping, everything you lose as you age, you must keep it youthful.
One of the people that you brought up was Bruce Lee, and you talked about his training, the fast twitch muscle fibers. And when I looked at your video for the first time that I saw you, I was like, this guy has the body of Bruce Lee. Maybe not as much right now because it looks like you're eating a little bit more. But about a month or two ago, your vascularity, you could actually see.
I purposely did this, gaining weight, but it will take me about a month to get ripped again. The reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I'm eating a little more fat now in my diet, is because I'm waiting for the test to arrive, the true age diagnostic test. It measures duodenum, I think it's your pace of aging. I changed my diet a little bit. I'm eating more fat. I lost vascularity for that reason, because I want to take this test. I want to see how I do in this test. I changed my diet a little bit. I'm not eating as much protein. I still eat 35%. This is the reason why you see me a little more fuller too. I'm going back down. As soon as I take this test, I'm going back down. Because when I'm down 5% body fat, I feel so good. I feel so light. It's like it doesn't bother me. Another thing, they say bodybuilders can't go down to 5% body fat and stay there. They could go down there, but then they have to go back up because their immune system, their hormone levels, it doesn't seem to bother me. There's only one thing I do notice from being ripped and the way I am now. Now I'm probably about, I guess I'm about 10%, maybe 10% body fat now compared to 5%. I do notice one difference. The only difference I notice is pain. I recuperate faster now. I feel better. I feel stronger now.
At 10%.
I feel much stronger. I feel much stronger now. Seriously, I feel much stronger. I could jump higher. So maybe I'll stay at this weight. Maybe I'll stay here because I do feel better, but I don't feel as light. But I recuperate faster for some reason. I guess the fat intake helps. So there is some truth to that. I mean, there's no question. You can't stay at 5% forever. I calorie restricted for 2 years. Right now I'm about 162. I went down to 137 pounds. That's how light I went. That's what my face was drawn in. I went down to 137 pounds. It was too much for me. I had to stop because my routine was too strong and I had to eat. So I started adding fats, healthy fats, like olive oil, 100% dark chocolate, things like that. Avocados, walnuts, avocados. I eat all this stuff. And that seems to help me. I sleep better too. I notice I sleep better also. Deeper sleep. So I'm going to stay here for a little while.
It's funny that you bring that up too. I would actually really agree with that because my diet consists essentially avocados, walnuts, a certain type of meat, either a beef, salmon, or something high in fat.
Very good.
It helps me recoup the same way with you.
You don't eat carbs, right?
I will eat some in terms of mixed berries, but that's the only fruit that I will touch along with the avocados and I measure.
It's funny that you say this. It's funny that you say this because, I mean, I'm not on keto right now, but my carbs are very low right now. My fat and protein intake is high. My carbs are very low right now. So I'm not 100% keto. I eat like 30% carbs, maybe 25, 30% carbs. But it's all from good stuff. Well, I do eat oatmeal. I love oatmeal. They say oatmeal is not good for you. I don't agree with them. I love oatmeal. The longest living family in the world lived on oatmeal. I don't know if you know this. Did you know this?
Mm-mm.
The Guinness Book of World Records, I forgot the name of the family, but the longest living family lives on oatmeal. They eat it twice a day, once in the morning, one at night. Then you have another guy named, as a matter of fact, this centenarian has never been spoken about. Nobody even mentions him. His name is Joe Rollino. Have you ever heard of Joe Rolino, strongman, Coney Island strongman? Joe Rolino was a vegetarian since he was a child. Lived in New York, and he worked in Coney Island in the circus there as a strongman. This guy was a powerful man. He was little, but he was very strong. And he was a vegetarian, and he ate a lot of oatmeal. At the age of 104, he had no diseases, by the way. He was disease-free at the age of 104. He died at the age of 104. And the only reason he died is because he got hit by a van.
No way.
Yeah, he got hit by a van. He got hit by a van while doing his 5-mile walk. So this guy, by the way, exercised 7 days a week. So all the stuff about you hear, they never mention his name. I mean, he exercised every single day and lived to 104, healthy 104, no diseases. So this guy's like my idol, not Jack LaLanne. This guy is. I'm not a vegetarian, but I'm talking about his exercise regimen. He exercised every day. So I don't believe in that stuff that you can't exercise every day, all that stuff about 150 minutes. I don't go by that. I'm sorry. I just don't go by that. That's just me. I train 2 hours every day, and 40 minutes is, like I mentioned, is stretching and stuff like that. Corporate yoga and stretching.
It's funny that you talk about yoga too, because I just got into yoga because I wanted to do something still active, remain active during the inactive periods of wear, because mostly my goal right now is to try to build muscle. So yoga, I've been doing that too. And I've noticed phenomenal results. Like you said, stretching is very important.
Yoga is so good. Yoga is so good.
What are some of the stretches and exercises that you do that's able to make you maintain your strength, but not only your strength, maintain your mobility and your joints? Because your joint health is incredible. After powerlifting from the 80s till now, what's your secret?
I do so much. I just did a 40-minute stretch routine before I spoke to you because I forgot to do it last night. I didn't forget. I just didn't have time. I did it early this morning when I woke up. I stretched from my toes all the way to my neck. What do you want to know? What I stretch with my shoulders?
Yeah. So what exercises do you pretty much do? Do you do yoga or do you do a certain regimen?
Yeah, I mix it up. I have like a 40-minute routine I do where I mix it up. I can't show you here, but stretch triceps. A lot of people don't stretch the forearms and the hands. I don't know if you know this. Do you even notice people stretching their forearms and hands? You know what I noticed? When I have tension in my neck or my shoulders, when I stretch my forearms, I hold every stretch for 40 seconds, by the way. I hold every stretch for 40 seconds. The tension in my neck disappears. The tension in my shoulders disappears instantly. Like this is connected to your shoulders, to your neck, this here. When you stretch, you can actually feel this pulling. I hold for 30 seconds. Like let's say I do this, right? I put tension, right? 30 seconds or 40 seconds. I go up to it. I go like this, dynamic. I move it at the same time. Come down and then hold like that. And then I do the other side, the other way. The same thing. You put tension. Make sure you get your thumb too. And then make sure this is straight, right? And then I do this. And I do it slow though. I'm just doing it fast now for you. But I make sure it lasts 40 seconds. And you actually feel any tension in your shoulder go away. Instantly. You'll feel the pull on your deltoid. You'll feel it. I stretch my whole body. Put it this way. I stretch my whole body every night.
Here's one big factor I think that most people, what keeps them out of the gym is that they're almost conscious of the people. They're almost self-conscious about the people around them and how they might think that they look, their meta perception. They might think, oh, what if somebody sees me do this exercise? Like, am I going to do it good enough? Or like, are they going to critique me? But I've seen you, like, I wouldn't say in your briefs, I wouldn't even know how to describe what you wear. You're out there getting these plyometric exercises and you're doing this with high intensity and you're speaking as if no one's watching you.
I don't care. There are people watching me. They walk by, they stop. They're like, what's this guy doing? It's strange, In one video where I jumped from one rock to another, some girl walks by and she was like, I'm amazed. She stopped. She said it on the video. I forgot the name of the video. But I didn't know she was walking by. It was like she came out of nowhere. She stopped. She said, I'm impressed. I didn't do it to impress her, but she just happened to be walking by when I did the exercise. People are always walking by commenting. They're like, what are you doing? I don't even want to talk about what they say. They're like, this guy.
A lot of the things that you do in your YouTube videos, you're just offering a response and saying, look, this is totally possible. I'm not doing this in any vain reason, but I'm going to show you. Can you do it?
The guy, one of the guys, well, not one of the guys, a whole bunch of guys in the comment section said, let me see you do it without the weight. Let me see you do it without the weight. So now I'm going to make a video without the weight, and I'm going to make a tutorial on how to do it with and without the weight. The thing is this, right? I asked ChatGPT, right? I said, how hard is it for someone to do this without the weight? And they said, for most athletes, this is what ChatGPT said, this would seem impossible. It's much harder to do without the weight than with the weight. The people making these comments in the comment section are correct. They are correct. If I show how to train for it, they'll be able to do it. Certain exercises that you need to do, and you will get it. I think it's very important for longevity. Getting up from the floor like that, it shows health signs of a lot of parts of your body. Coordination, mobility, flexibility. It shows signs of a lot of things. Power, strength. You understand what I'm saying? That exercise will show signs. If you're getting up off the floor, you have to be very mobile with your knees and hips. You need to have flexible hips. It shows a lot. It shows a lot. That's why I like the exercise. But people requested for me to do a tutorial, and I will do a tutorial on it, and I will show them without the weight. Not only am I going to show them me doing that without the weight, I'm also going to, after I get up, I'm going to jump 42 inches up on a box. So when I come up, I'm going to jump up on a box. I'm going to do it just like that. Because people requested for me to do hard workouts. Show us hard workouts. Okay, I'm going to show you hard workouts.
A lot of times when people think of strength, they think of it as built in the gym. And a lot of that stuff isn't as transferable when you're outside of the gym. Like you can get workouts outside the gym and bring it inside, such as like pull-ups and dips and these weighted lunges. But when you try to do the isolation movements that they have to offer in the gym, they don't transfer outside. I was curious about some of the exercises like plyometrics and the things that you do.
It should be movement. You should be concentrating on keeping your body young, not like walking down the street like Arnold. Those days are over. When you're younger, it's okay to feel like that. But when you're 60 years old, you should concentrate on how to keep your body young, because just working on weights is not keeping your body young. It's not helping your mobility at all. As a matter of fact, it's hurting your mobility. That's why guys that go to the gym to come outside, they can't. My opinion, maybe they don't want to do the exercise I do. Maybe you should play basketball or do something, handball. Do something where you have to move. If you work out, do these exercises also, these sports. It would help your mobility and agility. I think it's very important in aging. I really do. And most older people don't do this. They just don't. Like I said before, it's not quantity of your muscles, the quality of your muscle. Quality is very important. What I mean by quality is fast twitch fibers. When you age, you lose those. The slow twitch fibers you don't have a problem with. That's why you see older guys running marathons. Older guys can move slow, but they can't sprint fast like a younger guy. Even though their mind is telling them move fast, that connection is gone because the fast motor units are gone. By the way, once you lose fast motor units, you can't get them back. That's another thing people are not aware of. Once you lose fast motor units, there is no getting them back. That's a problem. So people, even if you're older, you have fast motor units left, you need to train the ones you have left to slow down their loss. By the time you're 90 years old, you have 10% left. Studies show. You're 85, 90 years old, only 10% of your motor units are left in your body. This is why you can't run. You can ride a bike. You can ride a bike when you can swim, but those are the slow motor units. You're able to do that because that's a slow movement. I mean, it's good to train slow. It's good. You have to do this also. To go all the way up, all the way down, you need to do this, full range of motion. But if this is all you do, you are speeding up the aging process of your body by doing these kind of exercises alone. That's my opinion.
I saw you speak a little bit about the benefits of the partial repetitions. What are the benefits of doing partials, and what are those?
Okay, partial. These are not partials.
Okay.
Oscillatory training and partials are two different things. Okay, a partial is, let's say I'm doing a squat. I go halfway down, I come back up, right? In oscillatory training, you're stopping there and you're going up and down 2 inches. It's different. It's not a partial. Partial, you're going back up. In other words, if I'm doing a bench, right? I'm doing a bench. I come this way, I go back up. I stop halfway, I go back full up. Oscillatory, you're training within a 2-inch area. So if you're stuck, if you have a sticking point somewhere in a lift, in an exercise, you go down to that area. Let's say I want to jump on a box, on a 42-inch box. You want to train the whole area of squatting, jumping. So what you do, you squat a little and you do 2 inches up and down like this, just squatting in that area. Then you go a little bit lower and you do it again. So every sticking point, you're working the sticking points. And you don't have to stick. You don't have to do it. You could do it here. 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 You could even do it near the lockout. You can't, if you do a lockout, then you can do oscillatory training. You could do it right near the lockout. That's the difference between partials and oscillatory training. It gets those sticking points. The partial also gets sticking points, but not like oscillatory. You have experts, you have professional athletes doing oscillatory training. A lot of coaches do this for their athletes. A lot of coaches do this. And by the way, when you do this, you should do as many reps as you can. All out. To get the fast twitch fibers, you can't do 10, 15 reps. You got to go all out till you feel that burn. You have to feel that serious burn. That's when you're hitting the fast twitch fibers. If you just do 30 reps and you don't feel nothing, you're not working the fast twitch fibers. Depending on the person. Some people will do 30 and they're tired. Some people do 100. You have to feel that serious burn as you're doing this. And you ever see those guys that do push-ups like this? You ever see those guys? Those push-ups like this? You go all out till you burn. Till you burn. You're hitting the fast twitch fibers. That's oscillatory push-ups. It's called pulsing. There's another word called pulsing. That's what they used to call them before.
Yes.
No, when they tell you you shouldn't work out like that, it's not good for you. Nonsense. You do those, but you also do full range of motion exercises. You don't just do oscillatory training for every rep and every set. Let's say I'm doing incline bench press. I get an incline. My first set is going to be an oscillatory movement to warm up my body. Okay. Then you go on to your regular workout. Do one set for each exercise you're going to do. Do one set of oscillatory training. You're going to do curls. Do you know what 21s are in curls? 21s?
Sevens halfway, this halfway, and then all the way sevens.
They're basically like oscillatory. You're doing different sticking points. But 7 might not be enough. 7, you might have to do more than 7. But I'm just saying that's that's the principle I'm using. I do all this. By the way, I don't have a set routine. That's another thing that's not good, in my opinion. People do the same routine for a month, 2 months straight. They go to the gym Monday I do chest and triceps. Tuesday I do legs and biceps, etc. I don't do none of that. I don't do that. I don't never do the same exercise twice. I shock my muscles. I shock my body. I don't let my body know what I'm going to do. Every Monday you're going to do chest and triceps. Your brain knows this. If you're doing something else, you're shocking your muscles. Whoa, I'm not expecting this. It's a principle. It's a Joe Weider principle. Joe Weider is bodybuilding. He had the Muscle and Fitness. I think he had a Muscle and Fitness magazine. But his principle is one of his principles. Shock the muscles. I've taken different things for different people throughout my life, and I created my own things. Like Sylvester Stallone, what I took from him, what he used to do when he used to train for. Remember how ripped he got from Rocky 1 to Rocky 2, Rocky 3? See the difference in body? And Rambo, did you see the difference in his body? How he was more cut up? His training, he would eat strictly protein all week, and one day he would just cheat. He would just eat everything. Potato chips, cookies, cakes. He would eat all this stuff. I don't do that. When I go in my cut up mode, when I go down to low body fat, one of the days, I took the idea from him, the principle. one of the days, I eat no fat. I eat basically like 10% fat, 6 days. But one of the days, I eat like 50% fat. I eat all kinds of walnuts, avocados, just one day. So I replenished my fat intake for that one day. I took that little principle from him. Frank Zane, man. Frank Zane is
phenomenal physique.
The guy was incredible, man.
You talk about symmetry.
His diet was incredible. And another thing, I see a lot of scientists on YouTube saying that most supplements don't work, most supplements are fake, etc. I don't know what they mean by most supplements don't work and most supplements are fake. I don't know what supplements they are talking about, but there are many supplements that do work, 100%. Some of them are banned from the Olympics. If the supplement doesn't work, then why is it banned from the Olympics? Why are there scientists said you cannot use in the Olympics? Okay, I'll give you one. DHEA. You heard of DHEA?
I have heard of it, but I don't know what it does.
Another thing that's banned from the Olympics is, you ready for this? Baking soda.
No way.
Baking soda. Baking soda is banned. They test you for that. It works. People say, it doesn't work. It works. Baking soda helps. It's a performance enhancer. It's banned from the Olympics for that reason. They test you for this. But anyway, let me get back to the supplements. I take a lot. You want to know what supplements I take?
Absolutely. I
don't know where to start here. These are my favorite, by the way. I'm going to give you my top 5 favorites. Okay? Creatine, L-citrulline, beta-alanine. Those are my top 3. Then you have glycine. Then you have TMG. TMG is very, very good for you. Then you have astaxanthin. I started taking NMN. I started taking apigenin. You ever heard of those? You heard of NMN, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, NMN, okay.
I've heard of creatine, and that's about it. I've seen your video on L-citrulline, though, because you said, I'm 60 and I feel fantastic.
L-citrulline is so good for your vascularity. It's so good for your vascular system. It's good. Lowers blood pressure. It's so good for you. It increases nitric oxide in your body. And nitric oxide, in my opinion, is a longevity molecule. If you increase nitric oxide, your whole body healthy. Another thing, beta-alanine is very good too. Beta-alanine is so good. It increases carnosine. I don't know if you know what carnosine is. Beta-alanine is a precursor to carnosine. If you ingest, I'll give you an example. Let me go back to L-citrulline. L-citrulline is a precursor to L-arginine. L-arginine is what causes nitric oxide to increase in your body. Okay, but if you ingest L-arginine, it doesn't go into your blood. It's not bioavailable. Your body kills it before it reaches your blood. Now, when you take L-citrulline, it bypasses the liver, and it creates L-arginine. And then L-arginine increases nitric oxide. The same thing with beta-alanine. Beta-alanine increases L-carnosine. Carnosine, if you take carnosine, the same thing happens. It doesn't reach your blood. It has very low bioavailability. Beta-alanine is the strongest precursor for L-carnosine. L-carnosine helps in another longevity pathway called AGES. Beta-alanine, to me, I take it 5-6 times a day. Take 2 grams 5-6 times a day, because there's no set level for L-carnosine in your muscles. You should strive to increase L-carnosine because it does wonders to your longevity. It really does. AGES, it stands for advanced glycation products. L-carnosine stops this. Advanced glycation products hurt you. It could reduce your longevity. Advanced glycation products. And carnosine is known to inhibit this. I also take taurine because taurine, like I said, I don't believe in such a thing as a longevity supplement. There is no such thing as a longevity supplement where you take a supplement and you live longer. So in my opinion, this word longevity supplement is something made up, because taurine, I've been taking taurine for decades. It wasn't a longevity supplement then. It was just a supplement. Now they're calling it a longevity supplement. But the reason why I take taurine, not only is good, it's very good for you to begin with, but it works in synergy with beta-alanine, taurine. Okay, any other questions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talked a little bit about your background. I think it's important to also address what gets you out of bed in the morning. Why do this?
What gets me out of bed in the morning is to continue my ideal. Back around 1990, I was doing a lot of reading, and I picked up a book from called The Sleeping Prophet. I think the name was Jess Stern. The author is Jess Stern. It was about a clairvoyant, I think, or clairvoyant. I'm not into clairvoyance or anything like that. I really didn't care much about the book, but there's something in the book that caught my eye. The Sleeping Prophet, Edgar Casey was the guy's name. This guy used to, like, if you had a disease back in, I think it was like in the 30s or 40s, I'm not sure exactly when, 30s, 40s, 50s. If you had a disease, you would go to him. He's the one that would lay down on the couch. He will go into your mind and tell you what medication to take to help you with your disease. I'm not with all that stuff. The thing that caught my eye in that book is principle of an ideal. It's something you live by. It's stronger than a mindset. It's something that it's like a North Star. Something you live by. Everything you do. In other words, a longevity mindset. The difference between a longevity mindset and an ideal is this: how you live your lifestyle. You take your vitamins. You eat healthy. Social connections, etc. An ideal is much stronger than that. It's your guiding light. In other words, everything I do is geared towards this ideal. I made my ideal in 1990. I said, what am I going to do? I want to try something. I was about 26 years old, and I said, I want to try to reach 100 years old. I said this when I was 26, but I want to reach where I'm not frail. What would happen if they see a 100-year-old just moving like a young guy? They would freak out. And this became my ideal. So everything I do, when I wake up in the morning, everything is geared towards the ideal, including the healthy lifestyle, my friendships, everything, my dating, everything is geared around this. Everything is geared around this. Not just eating and working out, everything. So that's what gets me up in the morning. That's my purpose.
That's the heart of the warrior.
That's
right
my purpose.
Like, seriously.
It's embedded in my heart.
One thing I really like that you talked about earlier on, you actually talked about cutting people out and not doing what they might want you to do. And to me, I think about sacrifice. In terms of sacrifice, how does your life look like doing this, maintaining this physique, maintaining your joints? How's your community? How are you able to make time for this?
My life is normal. I only train for an hour and a half. The rest of my life is normal. I still go out. And when I go out, here's the crazy thing. When I go out and they eat pizza, I'm eating pizza with them. No, really. Really,
Hell yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I eat with them. I don't cut anybody. I don't drink. One thing I won't touch is drink. I do not drink. I don't drink any beer, liquor. I stay away from that like the plague. Smoking cigarettes, none of this. I stay away from all that. I don't believe in that stuff that 1 or 2 drinks is good for you. Nonsense. If it burns your liver, it's not good for you. How are you going to tell me a drink is good for you? I don't even drink wine. If it gets you dizzy, if it gets you drunk, if it throws off your equilibrium, how is it good for you? I stay away from liquor. I have no problem eating. I'll eat ice cream. No problem. Let's go. Now, if I'm on a cut-up regimen, I don't. Right now, I'm not on a cut-up regimen, so I no problem. Let's do this. As I mentioned to you before, I stay up late at night.
Yes, you do.
I stay up late at night.
Later than I.
I stay up like 2 o'clock in the morning. I stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up around 10, 9:30, and my day begins. But I stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Another thing about the, what do they call it? What's that called?
Biohacking?
I'm sorry. What do they call that?
Biohack?
No, I forget. I'm sorry. Oh, nothing. You bring biohacking. You want to talk about biohacking?
Let's talk about, absolutely.
I don't believe in that stuff. I don't. The reason why I don't believe in biohacking is, again, that brings you back to motor units. There is no biohacking in the world you can do to slow down the loss of motor units. Nothing. You could go into cold water, ice water, all these red light therapy. None of it stops or slows down the loss of fast motor units. If you cannot slow the loss of these fast motor units, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. When you reach 75, 80, you are going to be just like your ordinary person. It doesn't matter if you live a healthy lifestyle, because your muscle quality is gone. Once your muscle quality is gone, it affects your bones. Your bones depend on your muscles. Also, the rest of your body weakens, your organs. The less muscle quality you have, the more you'll be prone to insulin resistance. I mean, it's all connected. Think about this for a second. You won't work out as much. You won't be as mobile as much. And what happens when you're not as mobile? You gain weight. What happens when you gain weight? You get heart disease. I mean, it's all connected. If you can keep your body young, you will be more prone to go out and exercise. Once your muscle quality is gone, everything else follows suit. Everything. It all stems from the muscles. That's how I live. That's how I live. That's my opinion. I would like to see one of these scientists prove me wrong. Because once your muscles are weak, how can they say the rest of your organs go with it eventually? Eventually, they all go down with it. Your muscle is the house. Once the foundation crumbles, it's all downhill. And that's what I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to maintain this foundation. I don't want people to get the wrong idea that I don't concentrate on nutrition. I'm a nutrition fanatic, but it supports my exercise. And I do take supplements. I take like 30 supplements.
And I like that you post the little evidence too of the studies that you find, because Tony will go on his YouTube and he will post these clips of the evidence that he's found to support this. And then he does it in practice and shows this is exactly how you're able to maintain them.
I always show studies that by the time you're 71, you lost 40% of your motor units. By the time you're 75, you lost 50% of your motor units. Like I said earlier, by the time you're 90, you lost about 90% of your motor units. By the time you're 90, think about this. Your muscle quality is gone by the time you're 90. And what happens after that? So why wouldn't I fight this? Everybody should fight this. Maintain muscle quality. Muscle quality means having fast twitch fibers. That's muscle quality.
Yeah. If someone asked you, Tony, just simply like, if I could look up an exercise that's going to support these, whether it's plyometric or any exercise that's going to help maintain your motor unit loss, what are some exercises that they could like type in their computer that would give them a pretty good idea of what to do?
Definitely sprints. 100% sprints. And I'm talking about all out sprint. By the way, only like 40-yard sprints. Number one. Number two, box jumps. Box jumps. Number three, medicine ball. Medicine ball. You ever see medicine ball throws?
Absolutely.
Medicine ball throws against the wall. Clapping push-ups. This is for upper body. You can do heavy squats. This is another one I like. Power cleans. From the floor, back down. Power cleans. Deadlifts. You're asking me how to maintain fast motor units, correct? That's what you're asking me?
Absolutely.
I want to say something. You have two different types of fast motor units. Type 2A is made up of some type 2X and some type 1 fast twitch fibers. In other words, the slow twitch fibers, the slow motor units, and the super fast motor units incorporated into one, it makes it a 2A. Then you have the 2X, this is where the most powerful motor units are. They are called high threshold motor units. This is the one that we lose first. And these are the ones we have to concentrate on.
The high threshold motor units.
High threshold motor units, which I say helps maintain type 2X fast twitch muscle fibers. You need explosive movements for this. Super explosive movements, sprints, box jump. You could even do pull-ups, but put some weight on it. Put some weight on you and explode. Even if you just two or three, explode. Weighted dips, explode. It has to be explosive. What I mean by explosive, just because I might do them faster than you does not mean that yours are not explosive. It's relative. You have to try the hardest you can. You only have to do 4 or 5 reps, 3 reps, but do explode. This works the type 2X fast twitch motor units and its muscle fibers and help slow down their loss. I make sure I hit these. In other words, type 2X, you should do a sprint no more than 8-9 seconds. After that, type 2A take over up to 2 minutes. And then from 2 minutes on, the slow twitch takes over. Try to maintain any movement between up to 10 seconds at the most. But full speed, full blast. You follow me?
How long should the rest be between those intervals, high intensities?
It should be at least, put it this way. They said between 2 or 3 minutes, your ATP is replenished in your mitochondria.
Okay.
They said between 2 or 3 minutes, but to fully replenish, I say 4 minutes between each set. When I'm talking about high intensity now, if you're doing a squat and you're doing three reps, like 90% of your max, you're going all the way up, all the way down. They say 2 minutes, but to fully replenish your ATP, you should take 3 minutes. I mean, I don't show it on my video because my video would be really long if I show my rest. But when I do, like sometimes I do hits, 30-second sprint. I stop for about 3-4 minutes before I do my next sprint. But that 30 seconds, I go all out.
Absolutely.
With ankle weights, I go all out. I mean, no jogging. I mean, I go all out. And when I get to the end, I'm like, then you rest 3 or 4 minutes between that. And I do it 10 times. The next time you're doing it, you replenish. Your ATP is back. You should wait 3 minutes minimum. Sometimes I do 2 minutes, but I can feel the difference. 3 minutes, you're good. And you will work your type 2X. It's the first 10 seconds of the sprint that works the type 2X fibers. Anything after that, up to 2 minutes, works the type 2A muscle fibers. The type 2A take over because you need more energy now. And the type 2A use more oxygen. The first 10 seconds, you don't use oxygen as energy. That's where fast twitch fibers work. So I do 30-second intervals, but I'm not training. You're no longer training type 2X. You're trying to take type 2A now. But you hit the type 2X in the beginning. Any routine you do, go all out the first 8 seconds. And make sure you have enough intensity. It makes it difficult for you. Like even if you're doing like agility work, I try to use ankle weights. Box jumps, very good for type 2X fibers.
So I've seen you not only do box jumps, but with weights up to 40 to 60 pounds. I was right on that, correct?
Yeah, I can't recall. It was something like that. Yeah, I remember that video. On one leg, standing on one leg too.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's okay. It's nothing special. Anyone can do it. I mean, I'm not doing anything special. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do this if they put their mind to it. You gotta have the mindset. You gotta have the purpose. You gotta have the will to do it. Anyone can do it. I'm just not giving up. I have some. I think I'm onto something here. I don't know for sure. I think I'm onto something because it's not genetics. Nobody in my family moves the way I do. It's not genetics.
Hard work. It definitely pays off. You did bring up earlier that your coach was the biggest impact on you, or he might have been the biggest impact. Is there anything that he might have said to you that could have prompted this response of like, what has he said or what has he done in your life that made you want to almost make him proud in a way?
He said to me, you have natural ability. I remember him saying that. He said, because I never touched a baseball bat. And the guy was pitching to me and I hit the ball. You know, I'm like, he was surprised. He says, you have natural ability, athletic ability. I mean, he was training me with everything, running, boxing. He was an ex-boxer. You know, he's a good man. He lived a long life too.
Oh yeah?
He lived a long life. He lived close to 100 years old.
Oh.
He lived close to 100 years old. I wish he could see me today because when he was teaching me this, he was 56 or 54, right? He was a coach. And if he's seen the way I move now at 60, he would, I mean, back in those days, in the 70s, early 80s, you see a 60-year-old, they're not moving around like I do. Not back then, at least, in the 70s. People would die back then at that age.
That's the truth.
Well, my father, too. I don't know. I just, I have a mindset. My mind is set, and I have something to prove. I really do. Because I think they got it wrong. I'm not a scientist, but I think that they have the hallmarks of aging wrong. I think it all stems from the loss of motor units. I really do. Maybe they're going to call me crazy when they hear this. But like I said before, when you're born, you have a defense mechanism that protects you from the hallmarks of aging until you start losing these motor units. The protection disappears. When your body weakens, the protection disappears. Is that a coincidence? I don't think this is a coincidence. Where you start losing fast motor units and you start getting age-related diseases around the same time. You start weakening everything. It just starts around the age of 30. It's coincidental to me. And that's why I have something to prove. I don't know what's going to happen if I'm 80 years old and I'm moving like this. What they're going to say?
I think they're going to say anecdotal evidence, one of one.
It must be some alien TRT if I could do this at 80 years old. I have every intention of moving like this when I'm 80 years old.
What stands out to me is definitely the wonderment. As we get older, things kind of seem to go away. The purpose kind of seems to become not as prominent. It's not the priority. And the way that you handle things, the way that you talk about things, it honestly makes me smile. People don't have that.
You have guys that play sports when they're old. Everybody enjoys their life the way they enjoy their life. So a lot of older guys, they're into leagues, baseball leagues. God bless them. But to me, that's a pastime. That's not keeping your body young. I am doing something else. I'm training to keep my body young. I mean, this might sound crazy. I'm training to help my body move half its age as the years go on. This is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. It gets harder as you age. It gets even harder because of hormonal changes, cellular changes in your body. It gets harder. Let me put it this way. Let's talk about METs, metabolic equivalent tasks. You ever heard of those? There's a study that they did, right? They said that men to live as long as possible and women to live as long as possible, they should do exercises that equal 10 METs or more for men and 9 METs or more for women. Now, a MET, let me give you a definition of a metabolic equivalent. When you rest, your body's burning energy, even at rest. How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh, Travis?
I'm probably like 150 right now.
So what do you weigh, about 65 kilos? Let's round it off as an example of 70 kilos. Your resting metabolic rate is when you're standing still. That's your resting metabolic rate. You're still burning calories. Now, one MET, metabolic equivalent, one MET, you would burn 70 calories per hour. You would burn 70 calories per hour just sitting there. 70 kilos, we're talking here, right? They say that you should do an exercise of 10 METs. They're not saying you should do an exercise that equals 3 METs, like walking. Walking at a normal pace is about 3 METs, which is 3 times your resting metabolic rate. And you're using 3 times the energy to walk than if you were sitting. Some people have been confused that when I say that you should do 10 METs, I'm not saying you could walk 3 times in a day and it equals 9 METs. That's not how it works. 3 METs will always be 3 METs, and 10 METs will always be 10 METs. So a sprint, a jogging, they're not saying that you should do 10 sprint for an hour straight. You can't. But you should do a 10 MET exercise for the best benefits every day. At least, I say 30 minutes a day, which is an equivalent of 75 minutes per week of vigorous activity. Even if you use their rule, you should do at least 30 minutes of vigorous activity that equals 10 METs or more. There's certain exercises like jump roping at a fast pace equals 10 METs or more. Sprints equals 10 METs or more. Running up a hill is more than 10 METs. You should be incorporating these workouts into your daily routine. This is what the study says. For women, it's 9 METs, and it should be kept as long as possible because we lose the capacity. When they tell you, oh, you should walk 150 minutes of moderate exercise, you could do that instead. Yeah, you live longer, but you will not be healthy. You will still suffer from age-related diseases.
Because they're not meeting the METs.
It's not meeting the METs, and it's also not meeting the criteria for the fast-twitch muscle fibers, fast motor units. You could just Google exercise that equals 10 METs, and it'll tell you. And you need to do these to live the longest. The problem is this, that when we age, we lose exercise capacity. This means that we will not produce as much effort in the exercise. We'll go slower. And the loss of exercise capacity is from the fast motor unit loss and the fast twitch muscle fibers. That's how you lost the exercise capacity. That's why your VO2 max drops when you get older. You don't run as fast. You can't run as long. It's a natural part of aging. If a man can maintain the exercise capacity of a younger person when he reaches 70, and he still works out like a 35-year-old, that means his body, his foundation, is still 35 years old. If he's exercising like a 35-year-old and he has the musculature of a 35-year-old, who can tell me how long somebody will live if he's like that when he's 70 or 80? Who? No one can. Because no one knows if that's the catalyst to the decline of the defense system. Like I said, this is my opinion. We lose the defense system against the hallmarks of aging. Why do we lose it? The researchers are not answering this. All they're saying, these are the hallmarks of aging. This is how they happen. Okay. But why do we lose them after 25 years old? Why do they disappear? Why do they happen at the same time that our body weakens, our musculature? Unanswered question. So if I can keep this, how do I know my health span and my lifespan will go? If I can maintain this exercise capacity, youthful exercise capacity, no one knows. They could assume that they won't do anything. They could. They could say, you're full of it. Okay, we're going to see about this. We're going to see how full of it I am.
You brought this up earlier. You were talking about them measuring athletes from like 30 to 40, but they don't keep the same pace. And if they don't keep the same pace, then the study is kind of invalid.
Just because you were an elite athlete in your prime, it does not automatically make you live to 100 years old per default. That doesn't even make any sense. In other words, you're 30, 40 years old, you're an athlete, you retire. A lot of people that retire just can't handle it because, first of all, they're not training like they used to. They're going to gain weight. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They'll go out with their friends. These people have money. Most of them have money. They go out with their friends. They drink. They'll eat whatever. They live a normal lifestyle. It's not easy to maintain an elite status. It's not easy. It's very hard. You have to want to do it. Show me what they did between the age of 40 and 80, 40 and 90. What did they do? Show me. Then I'll believe your results. You're not telling me how they lived their life. So I'm supposed to say because they were athletes in their 20s, they only lived to 80. What does that mean? They only lived to 85. That doesn't even add up. Logically, that doesn't even add up. Because once you stop training, you still get the age-related diseases. You still get diabetes. You still get heart disease. It's common sense. I'm 60 years old. Use me as a test subject. I don't have any diseases. I don't take any medication. Test me. And then make your decision. But I don't want to do it now. I want to do it when I'm 80. No, do it when I'm 80. Because God forbid no accident happens. I monitor my blood tests, all my blood biomarkers all the time. I have no diseases in my blood. There's nothing, cancer, nothing. I don't have anything coming my way. Not anytime soon. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I'm here to prove them wrong. I think they are wrong about how they surface after the age of 30. They haven't explained. Okay, they say the body weakens. How does the body weaken? Please tell me why it weakens. Tell me, why does the mitochondria weaken? Why? To me, it all goes back to motor units. Another thing with biological age tests. They measure all these biomarkers. I'm 20 years younger. I'm 30 years younger. But they don't measure the motor units. They can't, by the way. They can't measure motor units. Because if they measure the motor units, all of them will be older than their chronological age. Not all of them, many of them.
I do have a question. If they can't measure the motor units, the loss of motor units, how do they know by the age of 75 that you lose 50%?
They measured it in corpses.
Ah.
That's how they figure it out.
Like dead people,
they figured it out.
Right?
Yeah. That's how they figured it out.
Do you have to like dissect them in order to look at the motor units?
By 90 years old, they had 10% left. Yeah. They did studies on people where they test their motor units. They do have tests, but they test a certain muscle. There's a study on fast motor units which exercises activate fast motor units the best. It's certain plyometrics. I did a video on this. There's certain plyometrics that activate the fast motor units. And the way they find out was from the test. So they do have a test. They've seen how the fast motor units got activated, how it increased them. Certain specific plyometric exercises. Again, this is my take on it. This is my theory, but I'm not a scientist. Scientists reading books. I am living this. I'm experimenting on it. So far, so good. I just feel that fast motor units is the catalyst to aging. And I'm not talking about my wrinkles, the gray hair. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about my body. I can't stop this. I'm in the sun a lot. You know? No, really, I'm in the sun a lot. I'm talking about the physical body, the foundation. This is what we're speaking about here. You ever hear the saying from Napoleon Hill? What the mind can conceive and believe, body can achieve. Never heard of it? I listen to no one. When they tell me exercise does not make you live longer, I mean, you had these experts. When they say there's no proof, I won't mention the scientist's name.
Did he do TED Talk?
No, he didn't do TED Talk. He's an Italian guy too.
Ah,
He's an
You're
Italian guy.
being betrayed by your own people, Tony.
He said calorie restriction is the only thing that makes you live the longest because mice, they always keep bringing up mice. Stop with the mice. Stop with the mice already. That has nothing to do with humans. When they tested the mice, when the exercises, did they have the mice doing plyometrics? Did the mouse say, I'm going to help you to the science. I'm going to help you live as long as possible. My mindset is telling me to do this. They're doing that involuntarily, running on a wheel. What's that wheel thing have to do with? What does that wheel have? I'm serious. What does it have to do with power? It has nothing to do with power. It has nothing to do with fast twitch motor units. It's endurance. Running on a wheel is endurance. Endurance training does not make you live long. There's no evidence that just doing endurance training will automatically make you live longer.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about that, Tony. The intensity of which the hamster is moving, you can't really prompt it to move at a faster speed. You can only get it to run. It's a slower twitch versus the fast twitch.
And the thing is, endurance, long distance runners don't automatically live longer. Like I said, long distance runners have no fast twitch fibers. Actually, it speeds up your aging.
Long endurance?
Sure, it speeds up your aging. To me, anything that you're not doing to maintain those fast motor units, you're speeding up. You're not even know, I'm doing everything perfect. You're doing everything perfect. Everybody in the gym is looking at you. Excellent technique. Excellent. Yeah, makes you feel good. Excellent technique. But then when you do pull-ups like this, when you do this really one set like this, they'll stop and say, hey, you're doing it wrong. What are you doing?
And most times people don't even know what you're training. Like, I won't lie. If I would have seen somebody at the park doing these little motions right here, if I saw them doing it within 2 inches and I saw it was the same distance, I would know that they're training for that. But there is some it's almost like a partial that's not done completely to the partial, where it's like, it's kind of like
those are different.
Yeah.
Those are different. I'm not talking about those. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. That I understand. But that's just my take on this.
Tony, I love talking to you. When I first made a video to Tony, I said, you remind me of myself. And I hope to have half the purpose and passion that you still have to this day. The way that you talk about this stuff is the way I feel.
Travis, it's very hard. Again, I mean, no disrespect to anyone. Everybody has their own life. People lose interest. A lot of people just don't have the purpose or the reason to go on. Or people lose family members, and they mental health means a lot too. You got to have good mental health to do this, to go on. A lot of people just have problems. Then you have people that need to be pushed to do something. They don't have the drive to do it on their own. They have to be pushed by somebody to do it. That's another problem. To do this for decades, it's not easy. And the thing is this, Travis, this is even more important that I didn't mention. Avoid injuries at all times. You notice most people, oh, I have shoulder problem, oh, my knee, my meniscus, my hip, my back. Once you're an athlete, you might be the best athlete in the world, the healthiest. You eat perfect food. Once you're injured, that's another thing that's going against me. Any kind of injury is going to be my demise for what I'm working on. So I have to avoid injury. And the things I do, people say, oh my God, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't jump, you're going to hurt yourself. Believe it or not, that's what's causing me not to get injured. Me jumping over the fences and jumping on rocks and all that is what's training my body not to get injured. I mean, I've gotten injured in my life. I've gotten injured. Not enough to where I can't go on. You know, you have to be really careful. You could tear a muscle. That's why you need to stretch. I mean, anything can happen. What I'm working on is it's too many variables. Anything can happen. So far, so good. God is with me.
I wanted to say also, thank you for letting me interview you, because honestly, I'm a nobody. You said that about yourself, but that's not, in my opinion, the truth. So I just want to say thank you for this, because
I'm just a regular guy, man.
It's all in the eye of the beholder, I guess. So I think you're giving a lot of people hope, and I love what you're doing, and I think it speaks mountains on who you are.
I think people are being misinformed. I really believe that these organizations where they say moderate exercise, 150 minutes is enough, you are helping that person get diseases. That's my opinion. These organizations, they want you sick. That's just my opinion. A lot of them make money when you're sick. They're not going to make money off me.
There is a person on YouTube that was a doctor for 10 years. His YouTube channel is Doobie and Gooby, which is his dog and him. He just goes on hikes with his dog. But he was a doctor for 10 years and decided to quit because he started telling people of other ways that they can become healthy. And he said it kind of hurt him a little bit because most people that went into that hospital, they were looking for a quick answer, such as a pill or a surgery. And he would try to look deeper and ask about the person's sleep, their diet, and their lifestyle. And he had a heart to heart with the camera and went to the mountains, and he explained why he quit. And he really hit with all of YouTube. I think the video's got 2 million views right now, and it was released last month. And now he just speaks about ways that you can be healthy and maintain a well-balanced, healthy, and mentally healthy lifestyle. And it's beautiful. It reminds me of what you're doing.
Very smart man. I don't know. I had arguments with people on YouTube about this. How much exercise you should do. You don't need all this exercise. That's just my opinion, I guess. I don't know. Just my opinion. You should work out at least an hour a day. At least move your body an hour a day. But even moving your body is not enough. You will still age like a regular person. Just look at the regular average 60-year-old. Look at the average 70-year-old. Even the athletic 60, 70-year-olds. When you see them move, the fluidity is not there. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying many of them. The fluidity is not there. Why is your speed gone? Why is your power gone? Why is your agility gone? I'm talking about even football players, even professional NFL football players. They lose their agility. Boxers. You have to see some of these guys. You have to see what some of these guys look like. You will never believe it. Aging is not a joke.
I saw you kind of getting a little bit more so, a little bit more emotional and a little bit more caring when you did talk about other people and really helping out the aging process of other people. And you can see in your face that you really do care about helping these people. Honestly, I think maybe that's why it touched my heart, because I could see that. And perhaps maybe I didn't and don't care as much about that. I think in some ways I lack that empathy, and talking to you and see how much you care, it really makes me feel a certain type of way. But it seems like you train not only just for yourself. It seems like you're trying to train for everybody else. It seems like you want everyone to become better, healthier, and live a more fulfilling lifestyle.
That's why I do it. I want to show, how do I say this? If it's working for me, why wouldn't it work for everybody else? You know, it's bottom line. It's free. It's free. You know, it's not. I'm not charging anything. It's free. My intention is to help people maintain a healthier body longer as they age. That's my intention.
There's a lot of people, I think, even getting into their 30s. That's when I really, truly start to see people say, "Oh man, I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I think I need to go to somebody."
Yeah.
And they're my age.
Travis, I mean, I'm not 80, I'm not 70, I'm not 90, but let me tell you something, man. You feel it as you age. You feel the difference. When I was 40, between 40 and 60 years old, oh my goodness, your body changes. Even if you exercise, even if you do all that stuff, your body changes. You're going to have the willpower to continue to go on. Some people have it, some people don't. All I'm saying is because your body hasn't weakened yet. It will. Some people get really depressed from the change in their bodies. They can't do it no more, and they stop doing it. Some people keep fighting. It's a hard battle. I wish everyone the best, you know. But there's a big difference between 40 and 60.
And you bring up a great point. When I grew up, like we always like to think of things as relative. Like when I was 20, or even 18, so I'd say maybe about, 12 years ago, the biggest people that I liked to watch on YouTube when I started getting into fitness was Elliot Hulse. I liked watching the Hodge twins. I liked watching Ziz. I liked watching these people. Elliot Hulse, great guy, love him. He's great, deep thinker, philosophical, and he's changing up his training now. But the training that he did back in the day, he needs to modify it. And the Hodge twins are now, one of them has back problems and they're still strong. They still exercise. But now these fitness gurus from back in the day have these ailments that you don't. So that's how I see you now, because you hold the secrets.
You understand my point? That's what I was trying to say before. You got to avoid injuries. If you don't avoid injuries, you're not going to be able to go on. You're not going to be able to go on. It gets so much difficult as you age. Amazingly difficult. So many variables and factors involved. Anything can happen. Also, your body weakens naturally. So you have to fight that also. That's when nutrition is very important. High protein is very important for recuperation, for maintaining muscle health. It's very important.
How intentional are you with each exercise? How much do you focus when you're doing those specific movements? How in tuned and how focused are you on each movement?
Sure. 100%. 100%. You have to be. Because one little twist, you might break your ankle and it's over. I might never be able to do it again. That's how difficult it gets as you age. Your ligaments and tendons also weaken. Those are the ones that protect your muscles. You have to maintain youthful tendons and ligaments.
Speaking of tendons, another YouTuber that I watched back in the day, OG, his name is Scooby1961. Love him. He actually just had his shoulder repaired. He had a whole shoulder replacement, and I wish him the best, and I hope he's well. I'm not sure if it's from over-exercising a certain movement within lifting heavy weights because he's a bodybuilder or doing volleyball. He's still not sure because it's only on one side, not both sides, so that would kind of indicate that it would be a volleyball movement, but it just showcases that every single movement, you have to be completely in tune and right there. And most people get caught up in a robotic movement, up, down, instead of like really feeling those muscles.
He's injured also. How old is he?
He is age. He would be 62.
You see my point with the injuries though, right? You understand my point with the injuries?
Absolutely.
This is why I say what I'm doing is very difficult, because I have to. It's not just the training that I have to do, but I have to avoid all injuries. To keep going like this, I cannot get injured. And another thing, when you get older, if you lay up in the hospital or sedentary for whatever reason for a month, 2 months, you lose muscle tissue faster than a younger person. If you are immobilized for 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, when you're older, you may never get back to where you were. That's what I must avoid that also. So I think of all the plans. If I slip this way, if I slip that way, I'm a step ahead. I have to be this. I have to do this. There is one guy that really impressed me. There's one guy that really impressed me. 70 years old, man. 70 years old. Pretty good.
Found him. He is Wojak Wella.
Yeah, but I was impressed by him. I really was.
He looks fantastic. He is insane. He looks like he has the body of a 20-year-old man.
70 years old.
It's so crazy when you bring and you show people this stuff. They are always so quick to say, well, they're the outliers. You know, for me, it probably wouldn't happen.
I don't believe it's an outlier. I believe that, like I said, it's something you have to do for your whole life. But by the way, he was really fat at 60 years old. He was really obese. He was really obese at 60 years old. He had a belly and everything.
All right, Tony. So I was going to just ask you if there's a takeaway of this message or something that we haven't talked about, any conclusions, closing statements, anything that you'd like to mention.
I would like to say this. Everyone should train no matter what age, especially before the age of 30. You should start to maintain and slow down the loss of fast motor units and fast twitch muscle fibers. To do this, you must incorporate power training geared towards activating your fast twitch type 2X muscle fibers. This includes sprints, hits, plyometrics, all types of plyometrics, power cleans, heavy bench press, heavy squats. Everything has to do with explosiveness. Don't overdo it. And most importantly, you must Take care of your body so you do not get injured. Some injuries are lifetime injuries, which destroys you. You must avoid injuries at all costs. You must train everything: flexibility, agility, mobility, stability, reflexes, power, strength, endurance, the VO2 max, all of it. The whole package comes together. That's the only way you can maintain a youthful body. Everything has to be as one, because if it's not, you will become, like Peter Attia says, asymmetrical. You can avoid age-related diseases if you can maintain a youthful body. You will not need to take medication. It'll be much later. You will compress morbidity. In other words, you compress diseases to a later stage in life. That's what I train for, and that's what my message is. My closing statement: I wish everyone the best. Stay motivated and stay disciplined. Watch what you eat. Don't smoke. Don't drink. Take care of your body. Take care of your family. Take care of everybody around you. I wish everyone the ultimate best.
Tony, again, I want to say thank you for letting me interview you. It's been nothing short of a pleasure, and I love what you're doing, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do this again. We'll do this again another time, Travis.
You know what? I would love to.